All right, I thought of a couple things exercise-wise that might be helpful. Um, but first, I think like one of the things we talked about in terms of getting familiar with the scale shapes. Uh, so just little reminders here. So we'll get comfortable with one shape at a time. And besides just going up and down the scale, play along with backing tracks that you like in the key of, well, either if I would say search for like a key of A minor stuff. You can certainly do key of C backing tracks, but they're almost always happy sounding. So I mean, if that's what you want to play against, then absolutely do that. But finding stuff like the A minor backing track or even E Phrygian backing tracks, that'll be more in line with the metal style that we're into. So, and yeah, you can play against an E Dorian backing track using the C major scale because all the notes are the same. So you're just going to have E be the focal point, be the tonal center of everything there. But hopefully that makes sense. So one suggestion was finding chord shapes or creating chord shapes within the scales. Um, Something I definitely like doing to not only just get familiar with the scales, but just seeing what interesting sounds could be found within the scales and all that. And so that was the first thing I sent you, just the things that I came off the top of my head right away. I mean, there's all kinds of variations that I didn't get in there. So like starting with like the 8, 10, 10, and I'm just using that C major scale shape and just staying within like the first three strings you play on. You got all kinds of stuff in there. So like, I mean, you can obviously do the first thing I had on the sheet I sent you. Just change that top note. But then after like you change the top note, well then you can change the middle note from there, and then you can change the bottom note, and then go back to the middle note. I mean, so just now I'm thinking about it, I probably should. I think it'd be a cool idea to figure out like, okay, well, how many variations can I really have here? But see how many you can find. Try them on the different strings as well, and then see what sounds good to you. And yeah, so fun ways of exploring the shapes, doing stuff like that. So exercise-wise, the thing we didn't do yesterday that I was thinking, okay, well, what would be a good way to also help practice the scale? So basically, we have here the C major scale, and you're playing each note. So you're just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So basically twice, each string twice. So I got it as an eighth note pattern instead of a triplet pattern. Just want to make sure that you can go up to 240 beats a minute with eighth notes before we start doing triplets or any other for faster subdivision. So the goal I have for you on this and the next one I'm going to be showing, see if you can get it from 60 up to 240 beats a minute with eighth notes. Alternate picking the whole time. Everything's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So the way this exercise is set up, the accidental economy picking or purposeful economy picking shouldn't happen because you got your down, up, down, up, down, up, and then going to the next string, you'll be going with a downstroke. So I'm pretty sure I saw you do some kind of economy picking last week. I don't remember if it was done on purpose or not, but economy picking has its place for certain things, but in terms of like stuff like that, just being able to just haul ass all over the fretboard, learning strict alternate picking, I feel is the best approach for those kinds of speed. So anyway, I'm going to demonstrate this at a few speeds here, just so you can reference this video to make sure things are sounding okay. We haven't talked too much about rhythm, I don't think. One thing that can hold anybody back in terms of pure speed building is lack of rhythm skills. So if we need to talk more about that, we definitely will. I'd imagine you've got quite a bit of rhythm under your belt with all the schoolwork you've been doing, but Hey, who knows? Maybe on the piano you got it, but on guitar it's a little bit different, you know? Because you're obviously not strumming a piano. At least I don't think you are. That'd be kind of interesting. Just swiping the keys anyway. Enough of my dumb humor. So, every time you practice, always start at 60. No matter how fast you get, like say you get up to 200 beats per minute your first practice session, and you started at 60, you worked up by fives. And remember, that's what you want to do. You play this correctly one time, bump it up 5 beats per minute. And make sure you always end your practice session with a correct playthrough. Never end on a mistake. And also with mistakes, anytime one comes up, fix it immediately. Do not just keep going through the exercise. Let's say you get over here and something got goofed up. Don't keep going. Start over again. And after like 3 tries, if the mistake continues to happen, then focus on the area where the mistake is being made. So maybe it's the transfer from the A string to the D string. So just practice that. Just practice the A to the D string, A to the D string transfer. Do that several times, you know, like 3 to 5 times correctly, and then go back to trying the whole thing again. So, you know, perfect practice makes perfect. And only perfect practice makes perfect. So, you know, obviously mistakes are going to happen. I make mistakes all the time when I practice. It's inevitable. But knowing what to do when you make a mistake, that's the important thing. And then doing the right thing to ensure that you're focused on playing it right. So, because you can practice this thing like 1,000 times, and it's full of mistakes. Well, you just got good at playing this thing with mistakes. So I hope that makes sense. It's just, you know, having the self-discipline to not go on when a mistake is made and start over. So anyway, let's do some speed demonstrations here. So 60 beats a minute. That's right. I kind of went off on a tangent there. I'm sorry. I was trying to get to like, okay, so your first practice session, you go from 60 to 200 beats a minute. Well, the next time you go to practice, you start at 60 again and work up by 5 beat per minute increments, and, you know, try and beat 200. So maybe you get to 210 the second day, and then day 3 you start at 60 and you work it up again. So always starting at 60, having all those repetitions will just really ingrain the movement patterns in your subconscious, get it into muscle memory, all that good stuff. All right, here we go. So 60 beats a minute, I'll count it off. I'm going to count off 4, even though this is in 3/4, because it's just easier to count off in 4, and we do it all the time. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, for demonstration speeds, when I do things like this, I don't go up by 5s because that'd be a long-ass video. So I'm just going to go to 120 next. And this is how it should sound at 120. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to do 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the goal speed of 240. If you get to 240, let me know. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And number 2, we basically just going the opposite way. And if you're wondering why did I pick that A note in the previous exercise for an ending note, it seemed like a good note to end on. Same thing with this D note here. It's like, well, I like ending exercises on a downbeat, so it seemed like the most logical note for me to go to. It's like, I like that note. Why not? Let's end it on the D. So I'm going to do the same speeds again. 60, 120, 160, 100, or 200, and then 240. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Terrible pinch harmonic. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So yeah, what I'd like you to do, and if you already had like a, never mind. I thought I was just having to forget it. So working on this, what I'd like to see either on Skype on the next call, or if you want to make a video demonstrating this and like send it before the lesson, I'd like to hear you play it at 60, hear how accurate that is at the slow speed. There's a lot of times rhythmic issues can be heard at the slow speed, like rushing it or slight swinging of things, whatnot. So that's one reason I'd like to hear and see you do it at 60, and then whatever your top speed is. So, like if you get to 240 beats per minute with either one of these, like midweek, and you can send me a video of you playing it, that would be great. So, if you have any questions at all with this video, any of the stuff we talked about yesterday, please let me know, and we will continue the theory train and actually get you putting them arpeggios down and chord shapes down all over the fretboard. So we're on our way. All right, I'll see you again on Sunday.